Hello to the real estate industry. My name's Lee Woodward, the author of the Complete Salesperson Course and Claiming Doors. Welcome back to the podcast, We Are Selling. Today, our discussion is about you. Where are you now? Where are you going? And how are you going to get there? As we perform our work in the real estate industry, a challenge is that we are dealing with everybody else's lives, and quite often we come off track ourselves or struggle to stay on track due to the many responsibilities and accountabilities that we have as professional agents. As an educator for over 30 years, watching many agents get better, progress, get back on track, pull it all back together, bringing it all together, is always to do with structure. Structure and structural change is a discipline. And once the structure is put in place, you have a system to come back to when you get off track. And for me, that could be a mind map, it could be a checklist. Sometimes it's a personal audio that I've recorded that I listen to in my voice notes to bring me back to the middle of where I need to be as I've come off track once again. And we all do it. The skill is, how do I recognize it, and what is the map, the audio, the checklist, whatever it is that has been pre-thought out to bring back in that harmony. So let me give you a simple example that will allow you to stop and think and understand the importance of benefiting of living your life in a structured manner. Allowing you to gain visibility, what I'm about to discuss is a mind map. I have placed the mind map in the show notes with a link so you can see this, print this out, but this one structure is so important. The mind map that I built for business plans is very simple. There is a big circle in the middle that says business plan, and then surrounding that is a series of circles. And it was actually designed to be in your mind like a touch screen. So the first circle is generating business. And every day, in every way, we all have to be generating business. But if I was to touch on that circle, behind that would live all the content of how I do that. And claiming doors may be one of those things in there. Calling my established clients, running promotions each week. But I'm generating business. It's a daily activity, not something you do when the cupboards are bare. The second circle is marketing you. And marketing you is your job to get your name out into the marketplace. And the greatest advantage we've got now is social media. It is so fast to get known. However, a lot of people, when they're thinking about marketing you, have that issue with, but I'm not like that and I don't want to come across that way. First coachable moment. Whenever you post, the question is it ego or info? Info is, should you move or should you renovate? Ego is, I sold $4 billion worth of real estate, and people just worry about how that signal comes across, especially in a market like we're in today. And when I see agents post, I did so many $1 billion, although that's a track record moment for them, to the consumer, they read that as income. And I urge you to filter that. It would have been a lot better to say, last year, we helped 176 families reach their property goals. But marketing you is a daily activity. It's what you report on. It's what you do. It's what information you bring to the community that allows you to not only follow them up on that information, but also to be a person who's got followers. So I know myself, I have a lot of followers which allow me to do my work. Meaning, if I announce that I'm doing the Complete Salesperson Course Hunter Valley and we have a sellout, that's not because we had great marketing. It's because we've got followers who have followed over many, many years, listening to the audios, benefit from that information. They profit from that knowledge is the reason I can get them back there. Well, who's following you? What are you doing to be worth following? And that's where marketing you becomes very, very important. And when we're doing the prospecting module, which is Find, I'll take you through that. And that was the last book I ever wrote, was the How to Prospect for Future Business. And I love the term future business. Our next circle in our business plan, in our mind map here, is follow up for future business. Now, following up people for future business is an incredible skill. And the communication plan needs to change because people have changed. And what I mean by that is this. You can ring someone so much that you will lose the business. And from doing the Complete Salesperson course, I want you to have a reasons to call list. Just listed, just sold. A big result in the area of a similar style of home. Someone's got a weatherboard home, you ring all the weatherboard homes and let them know about that result. But that's a reasons to call list. And as I'm speaking to you, I hope you're taking the notes of the instruction. I need a reasons to call list. I'm not going to touch base. And if I'm looking at my business plan of follow up for future business, and I'm touching on that circle and behind that is that content, I've got my scheduled tasks. I've got my price updates out to people. I've got my anniversaries. I've got all these moments that I can reach out and communicate, and a reasons to call list blends into that beautifully. The next part of our mind map is getting yes for an appraisal. It's a skill to get people to say, would you have some time to pop over and see our place? Now, appraisal is the most famous word in real estate. However, I'm going to ask you to give consideration to modifying some of these words. The modification word for appraisal is assessment. And that's where you're saying, John and Helen, would you be open to me popping over and doing an assessment on the property? And that's where we'll look at what the property would rent for, and I'll get a rental certificate for you. We'll look at what the property could sell for, the improved price that we could get from guiding you in the marketplace. And then finally, what we could do with improving the property to generate even more profit with styling or renovations or anything that will give you that last chance of cashing in on this particular property. So when we talk about getting yes for an appraisal, assessment is the replacement word, and remember Rob's mum's place. Our next part of our business plan as we come down to this circle is the presentation and selling plan, the listing conversation, and communicating why you are the best person for the job is one of my favourite parts. And that's because the listing conversation is everything you know about the real estate sales process. When you're pitching and presenting to win business, they want those proof points. They want that understanding and clarity of who you are, what you stand for, and what you can do. And if you haven't done the training, if you haven't been through this audio book, you're just another real estate agent talking about lower fees and why don't you go with me? But that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the grand final, and that is why we are going through this step-by-step process. And right now, beginning with the end in mind, looking at your mind map business plan is a powerful place to be. The next part of our business plan is the property marketing plan. And as we go through the audio, you are going to be learning a labelled technique called staged marketing. I'm going to say it to you now, staged marketing, because it's no different to learning claiming doors. As you understand, there's 4 campaigns in a staged marketing campaign. But having that as part of your business plan is powerful. Our final 2 circles of the mind map are objections, closing, and paperwork. And I love objections. I love giving you the real answers that make an owner consider the difference between you and others. And then finally, our buyer and vendor management. So that's it. Our business plan, mind map, every day in every way you should be reviewing of generating business, marketing new, follow up for future business, getting yes for that appraisal or assessment, the presentation and selling plan, the property marketing plan, objections, closing and paperwork, and buyer and vendor management. That is all we need to see in one mind map circle, our business plan. And that concludes another edition of We Are Selling. Thank you for listening, and please remember, the mind map diagram of today's content is in the show notes. Click on it, see it, print it, put it in your booth, and make it your structure for staying on track. For those of you attending the Complete Leader Conference, I will see you there. And for those of you attending the 2-day event, the Complete Salesperson Course, the only way to ever structure your business properly, I will see you there. My next stop is Perth. And also, just been announced, I'll be speaking in the UK next year. So for any of our listeners, I look forward to seeing you over there as I'll be speaking at the EXP conference. Thank you very much. I'm Lee Woodward. Speak to you next week.